In this video, I will share my initial thoughts after riding my new Lux Trail and the main differences I noticed compared to my current bike, a Trek Marlin 7. If you watched my unboxing video, you know that I had delivery issues and I have been waiting to hear from Canyon. It has been almost 2 weeks and I got tired of waiting, so I took the bike out for a ride around the Nome Valley. The first and biggest change I noticed was the switch from 27.5 to 29-inch tires. I felt an immediate change in how my weight is distributed along the bike and felt much more confident. I noticed some skills came more naturally than with the smaller bike, like how I position my body on turns. In addition, I rode so much faster. I broke several of my own records on different trails without even trying to go fast. I don't think I would go back to 27.5 tires. I will keep my Marlin to practice skills like how to bunny hop, how to manual, and how to dry drops now that I put the flat pedals on it. I would say the second biggest change I noticed was the change from a 2x to a 1x drivetrain. I did not compare ahead of buying the bike the difference in gears between the two bikes, but I quickly learned that the softest gear in the Lux is harder than the softest on the Marlin. I had trouble riding uphill sections that I could easily clean before, so I just need to strengthen my legs and get used to the harder gear. This is probably obvious to many of you, but the other difference is that the step changes between the gears are much larger than in the 2x system, so I still need to relearn which gears I use in which sections of the trails. However, the benefit is that the hardest gear on the Lux allows for more speed than the hardest on the Marlin. I would just add that my Marlin 7 is the 2020 model, and the 2022 model now comes with a 1x drivetrain. What was also noticeable was the slacker angle. I felt in a more stable and safe position when going downhill. I also thought that with a longer reach the bike would feel too big, but the size is just perfect. I feel with my Marlin I frequently had my body weight too forward, and that gave me several scares, and I constantly had sore arms and shoulders. After a 2-hour ride on the Lux, I noticed my arms and shoulders were not sore. With the Marlin I would feel sore on a shorter ride. I know part of it is due to the suspension, but I can definitely feel there is less weight on my wrist on this bike.
Thank you.
And the least surprising change, but obviously still an improvement, is the change from a hardtail to a full suspension bike. The ride feels so much smoother, but this was a change that I was expecting. This bike has 3 positions for the lockout system. There's fully open, partially locked, what Canyon calls the trail setting, and then fully locked. I found the fully locked position to be very rigid, so I only used it on very steep uphills. I used the trail setting for sections that might have been a slight uphill or even flat without any rough sections, and I used the open position for all downhill and rough sections. I found it easy to get used to the remote lockout controls, and it is a great upgrade compared to the manual lockout I have on my Marlin. If you watch any of my trail videos, you will see I constantly lock my suspension on uphills, and sometimes I even forget or find it hard to open it again on downhills, so it is definitely nice to have the remote. The only upgrade I still have to use is the dropper. I tested it and it worked great, but I still need to use it on the trails. It still feels weird to have the seat down, so I will have to try it more on the downhills. Well, those are my initial thoughts. I hope this was a helpful comparison. I look forward to riding more trails with my new bike, and thanks for watching.